Welcome again. We'll start with the expected questions on government policies and schemes. Now this would be our second last class. We would cover one more class on expected questions on the topics of economics and economic affairs. Now in this class, the first and the foremost thing to understand is most of the government policies that come into play have few major things that they keep into mind. The first is transparency, bringing in more transparency into the system, removing corruption as per the current policy, bringing in more accountability, working for the poor section or the marginalized section. So these are some of the priority areas that all the schemes of the government are these days focusing on. So most of the schemes that we would talk about have these common issues that would be discussed. Now the first is Tele-Law Initiative. Now this initiative was brought in collaboration with Ministry of Electronics and IT. The idea was providing legal aid to the marginalized section or the community at the panchayat level. This was done through video conferencing, and the pilot project has been started in UP and Bihar, covering 500 the community centers. What would be done would be the citizens would be connected to the service providers, and therefore there would be a kind of online platform through which it would be enabled. Also at the village level they would have paralegal volunteers. The next is 360-degree system. Now this is a unique system that has started in the bureaucracy as of now. Till now what was done at the time of promotion was it was based on the recommendation of the senior officers. However, a 360-degree system involves 3 retired senior officers, secretary level officers, and these would be working under different heads. So one, let's say, under agriculture, the other under legal sector, and so on. And what would be done here would be the performance of each of the candidate would be assessed. There would be a new inclusion of the subjective assessment of the parameters, and this would be regardless of the kind of average performance that would be taken. So all the candidates, regardless of their average performance, whether they are doing good or bad, they would be considered for this 360-degree system. It would bring more transparency because all the intermediaries are being removed, and there is a kind of single level system through which it would be governed, and it would be anonymous. You won't know who would be assessing your profile, and so on. So it would bring in more confidentiality to the system. The next is telecommunication initiatives. Now BSNL satellite phone service has provided government agency the handling for the communication initiatives, and this involves activities like handling disaster management, railway governance, securities at BSF. So Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Telecommunication Skill Award Scheme and Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Sanchar Kaushal Vikas Pratishthan Scheme. These are the 2 schemes which would come under this initiative. The first would be to recognize the talent in the telecommunication sector, and the second would train nearly 10,000 people from 10 states in the first phase, and they would bring in more knowledge in the people about the telecommunication. The next is Sampada. Sampada is the scheme for agromarine processing and development of agro-processing clusters. This is restructured under the central sector scheme for 2016-20. It would incorporate cold chains, mega food parks, food safety and quality assurance. What would be done would be they would supplement the agriculture, bring in modernization into the agriculture, and decrease any kind of wastage. So this would help bring better price to the farmer. So the idea of doubling the farmer income by 2022 would come into play, and it would bring also affordable price for the agricultural produce. This Sampada scheme further includes 3 sub-schemes. The first is creation or expansion of food processing and preservation capacities. The next is new agro-processing centers, and finally backward and forward linkages between the village and the point where the village produce is sold. The next is e-Sanad. It's a service for online verification and attestation of all documents. So this has been brought into play with CBSE academic repository. So what would happen now, there would be a kind of electronic verification. So you can make an electronic payment, put in your documents and get those attested or apologized. and this would also be integrated with the non-tax receipt portal to enable cashless payment and has been designed by NIC. The next is Vidya Veerta Abhiyan. This is focusing on putting the wall of heroes in the major universities and institutes across India. Few years back there was a book, Veer Gatha, that was a kind of history of 21 Paramveer Chakra awardees, and this was brought into play to educate school children about the sacrifices made by the Paramveer Chakra awardees. Paramveer Chakra is the highest military award given in all the three branches, and it is equivalent to Medal of Honor of United States and Victoria Cross in UK. The design of Paramveer Chakra was done by Savitri Khanolkar, who was a wife of an Indian Army officer, Vikram Khanolkar, who belonged to Sikh regiment. The next is Real Estate Act. Now this brings in transparency into the system of real estate. So what is done here is land is considered a state subject. So the idea is to protect both the buyer and the seller, the builder as well as the seller, and this has been done by the real estate regulatory authorities to go against any kind of violations for contractual obligations. Now 70% of the funds collected from the buyer would be deposited in a separate bank account which would be used only for the project construction. The next is Operation Clean Money, which is Swachh-Dhan Abhiyan. That is a kind of e-platform to analyze all the large cash deposits that have been done during the demonetization window, that's 9th November to 30th December 2016, and this has been very important. So it's very important that you go through this in depth. Also important for your mains perspective. The next is all this would go through the e-verification, and this would be done in the ITD database. They would send an email or a phone text message to all those whom they find have deposited large cash during this window, and this verification would be closed if they find that the cash has been deposited under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. We will talk about this later. So you have the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. As we said, in 2016 December it was introduced in line with the Operation Clean Money or the income declaration scheme. The idea was to declare any kind of unaccounted money or black money in a confidential manner to avoid any kind of prosecution. So the idea was 50% of it would be paid as a fine, the remaining 50%, 25% would be returned back, and 25% would be kept for 4 years period, the interest on which would be used for the schemes to help the poorest section. If you are not declaring the undisclosed income under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, it would attract a fine of 77.25% of the income in the tax, and if the income is not even shown in the tax return, it would attract a 100% fine. The next is test and treat policy. This has been launched for the HIV patients specifically. The idea was to find out all those people who are HIV positive and treat them for free. The treatment would include the ART, that is the antiretroviral therapy, irrespective of the CD count that the person has. And what HIV does is it destroys the CD4 T cells and decreases the immunity of the body. India would be the second country in the world to have a free lifelong treatment for AIDS victims, and it has covered nearly more than 1 million so far. The next is Udaan or Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. This scheme was launched from Jubarhati Airport in the outskirts of Shimla. That was the first flight from Delhi Shimla that was launched. 5 operators, 128 routes and 70 airports have been covered under it. The airlines which have been covered are Air India subsidiary of Airlines Allied Services, Air Deccan, Air Odisha, Turbo Mega and SpiceJet. So these are the 5 operators. Now under this there are few inactive airports that have come into play, like that one of Shimla, the Jubarhati. Then you have Bikaner, Agra, Gwalior, Raurkela and so on. So all these lists we have put up on the website at ExamRace. You can download from there and you can read those. So what would be the other highlights? The other highlights would be the journey of 1 hour of 500 kilometers would be at a rate of rupees 2,500, and 50% of the seats would go into this quota. The remaining 50% the price would fluctuate based on the availability. This is a component of the National Civil Aviation Policy, and there would be a viability gap funding, that is VGF, that talks about the money raised from the levy imposed on the flight operators in the major routes would be in place for the next 3 years. And what would these operators get as a benefit? These operators would have 0 airport charges and would have 3-year exclusivity on these routes. The next is cow ID. Similar to the Aadhaar IDs issued to every person, the new concept is cow IDs. Those would be made of polyurethane so that they do not get damaged. The idea is was brought into play by a public interest litigation filed by Akhil Bharat Krishi Gausena Sangh. This was mainly to stop trafficking and smuggling of cows, and as per the exempt policy, every export requires a valid license, so the ID would be a must for those. The next is Urja Mitra app. Now these two topics that we would be talking now would deal with electricity. The Urja Mitra app talks about real-time information on power sharing. So all the electrification that has been done would be covered under this. When we are covering more topics in Yojana and Kurukshetra, we will come to know most of the government policies that we talk about here have been covered there as well. So therefore Yojana and Kurukshetra become very, very important for your mains as well. The next is Rural Feeder Monitoring Scheme. This would monitor the quality parameters of the power supply in the rural areas. This has been hosted by the National Power Portal on a real-time basis, and December 2017 is considered as a deadline for 100% electrification of rural areas, and all these feeders would be installed with modems. The next is, based on the same electricity concept, you have the LED based street lighting national program. This talks about bringing more energy efficiency into the system. So the life of a LED bulb is nearly 50 times more than the ordinary bulb and 8 times more than the CFLs. What has been done under LED is it would replace nearly 2 lakh street lights in the South Delhi Municipal Corporation, and this would be therefore the world's largest street program that would be ever run. The next is Jio Minegra initiative. Now this is Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Assurance Program, and this talks about geo-tagging all the assets that have been built in the rural area, be it related to water harvesting, be it related to flood control, individual plantations, community resources or whatever. These would be geo-tagged in order to bring transparency and accountability and see what kind of work has been really done at the village or the ground level. These would be then uploaded on the Bhuvan portal by a mobile application. In 2017, Kangra became the first district to geotag all its assets under the Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Scheme, and this Kangra lies in Himachal Pradesh. The next is Capacity Building Program for EWR. This was brought into play by Ministry of Women and Child Development and Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Talks about mobilizing women sarpanches and a national-wide program to build capacity for elected women representatives. The next is Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, that brings in small credit and micro loans to the farmers, launched in 2015 mainly to support the ST/SC and OBC in medium and small industries. It would issue Mudra cards that would be access to the working capital through ATM cards and machines, and then Mudra loans for non-agricultural activities up to 10 lakhs. So this would be further divided into 3: Shishu, Kishore and Tarun. As the name suggests, Shishu is the smallest baby, up to 50,000. Then you have Kishore up to 5 lakhs and finally Tarun up to 10 lakhs. So these are the 3. The next is CSS, that central sponsored schemes. Now these central sponsored schemes have decreased from 66 to 28. The idea is to consolidate the programs and bring in more accountability. So there are 3 types of schemes: the optional scheme, core of core and core schemes. Core schemes will include 20 schemes. Now the fund sharing would be 60-40 ratio, that's 60 by the center, 40 by the state. However, in the northeast state, in the Himalayan states, it would be 90-10, 90 by the center, 10 by the state government. Core of the core schemes would include 6 schemes. The one is Minegra, Social Assistance Plan, National Program for persons with disability. And these optional would include two schemes mainly for social protection and social inclusion. It would be on a 50-50 basis between center and state. However, in the northeast and hilly states it would be 80-20 ratio, and these have been extended to central government under the article 282. The next is digital payment initiative. So nearly 3.54 crore students have been covered under it. So all the scholarship would go directly into the bank accounts, mainly for the 14 ST/SC, OBC and denotified nomadic and semi-nomadic tribes. This has been done by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, which presently looks after 7 types of different scholarships. The next is all the digital aspects we will be covering now. So the next is DigiYatra. This talks about digitizing the boarding pass so that it brings in more efficiency into the system. No paperwork is required, and also there would be a no-fly list. That means if any passenger behaves in an unruly manner, he would be barred from the flight for future. The next is Lucky Grahak and Digidhan Yojana, again another digital transaction initiative. This Lucky Grahak is for the customers and Digidhan is for the small and the medium entrepreneurs or businesses. This would be done by, the winner would be selected by a random draw done by the NPCI software. This was proposed by Niti Aayog to promote digital transactions in India, bring the poor small businessmen and middle class into the digital era, and it would also cover transactions of USDT, UPI, RuPay and AEPS. So these would be covered. Mission Fingerling. This is a revolution in the field of blue revolution, so mainly dealing with the fisheries sector. The total expense would be nearly 52,000 lakhs with 20 states which would be covered under it. So all these 20 states are either coastal states or producing fishery in one way or the other. Rearing of the fishes and hatcheries would be included with 426 crore fish fingerlings. 25 crores post larva of shrimp and crab would be covered. Again, there has been a project for ornamental fishery. It would include 400 marine and 375 freshwater fishes and would be implemented by National Development Fisheries Board. The next is Tejaswini project. This talks about empowerment of adolescent girls and young women. This is the World Bank's first project in India to focus the welfare of the children aged 14 to 24 years. The idea is that they should be able to complete their secondary education and bring into the job market at a come into the job market with relevant skills. It includes 4 core elements. The first is resilience and soft skills, developing the rights and protections, health and nutrition and financial literacy. It was as a pilot project first delivered in the 17 districts of Jharkhand. The next is Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram. This was launched in 2014. It would include 6 priority areas. So all these 6 areas are here. Again, there are 2 things that they have developed. The first is the Sathya resource kit and the Sathya mobile app. This Sathya app is a kind of peer-to-peer development initiative that has been given by United Nations Population Fund and the Population Foundation of India. So these are the 2 organizations working for it. Ujjwala Yojana talks about providing LPG to the BPL families. It was launched in May 2016 from Madalpur More in Balia in Uttar Pradesh. The slogan that was launched was Swachh Indhan Behtar Jeevan. It talks about empowering women, protecting their health, providing BPL families with a deposit-free LPG connection at rupees 1600 per connection. That would be the financial assistance given by the center. The beneficiaries have been identified based on the socio-economic caste census that has been done. The next is Rashtriya Vayoshree Yojana, launched in Nellore, Andhra Pradesh, talks about providing physical aids and assisted living devices for senior citizens below poverty line. 30% of these beneficiaries would be women. As per 2011 census, there are 10.38 crore senior citizens in India, of which 5.2 are disabled due to old age, and this scheme especially focuses on that group. The next is FAME scheme, that is faster adaptation and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles. in India. It was launched in 2015 under the National Electric Mobility Mission Plan, which had a projection till 2020 to promote eco-friendly vehicles in India. Now, mild hybrid cars are 7 to 15% more fuel efficient, and this talks about, there was a later proposal which talked about withdrawing any kind of subsidy given to the mild hybrid vehicles under FAME. However, there have been various projects like charging stations etc. which have been put up by government, specifically one of those is in Maharashtra. So, it would provide kind of demand incentive for the electric vehicles, mainly ranging from two-wheelers till buses. The next is PowerTech India scheme. It boosts modernization in the powerloom sector. It has two sub-schemes. One is Pradhan Mantri Credit Scheme for powerloom weavers, that is margin money subsidy that would be provided, and next is solar energy scheme that would provide installation of solar photovoltaic plants. The next is fund for startups. Now, this would enable more flow of resources into the startup programs. It would be a kind of alternate investment fund which would be supported by the fund for startups, and there would be a kind of investment which would be twice the amount of contribution done by the startups and has a total corpus amount of 10,000 crores. The next is Trade Infrastructure for Export scheme, which is also known as TIES. Again, this is important. It talks about developed export linked infrastructure to promote any kind of outbound shipment that has been done. 50-50 ratio from center and state, and for northeast and hilly states it would be 80-20, 80 by the center and 20 by the states. It would bridge any kind of infrastructure gap and also promote forward and backward linkages of the industries. The next is RISP, that is Revenue Insurance Scheme for Plantation Crops, launched in 2016. The idea was to protect the growers from any kind of pest attacks. Covers tea, coffee, cardamom and tobacco mainly. It also provided kind of improved form of price stabilization fund scheme, which was started in 2003 and later closed in 2013. The next is Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan, again an initiative towards digital literacy in the rural areas. So, it would be one of the world's largest digital literacy program, and by 2018-19 300 lakh people would be trained. The next is B3P scheme, which is Beti Bachao Beti Padhao, also known as B3P scheme, launched in January 2015 in Panipat, promote gender equality, improve the child sex ratio, and again the contribution to this scheme in any form would not be a cash component. So, all transaction would be digital. The next is TOP, that is Target Olympic Podium. It talks about identifying potential candidates for or the potential medal prospects for the Olympics 2020 and 2024, provide the players with world class facility and improve the performance and better training. The next is Mission 41K, that talks about saving 41,000 crore on Indian Railway expenditure by means of reducing the energy consumption in the next 10 years. This would be brought into play by more energy efficient devices, bioenergy that would be generated, and nearly 90% of the traffic would go into electrification. Till now, it was procured through DISCOM, and now it would be procured at a much cheaper rate from the open market. This would reduce the dependence on any kind of imported fuel, change the energy mix concept that would come into play, and finally nationalize the energy cost. This has been again part of one of the sustainable development goals, where they have talked about curbing the expense on or bringing a control onto the non-renewable resources and mobilizing the renewable resources. The next is Pravasi Kaushal Vikas Yojana, Pravasi. So, this talks about Indian youth who are planning to go overseas or outside. This was implemented by the National Skill Development Corporation. The next is the State and the Agricultural Produce Livestock Marketing Act 2017. Now, all these what we would be talking about now would be some of the state projects done in the various states on an experimental basis, and if comes into play, they would be implemented on a national level also. So, this talks about that each state would have a kind of unified market area. The Model Act would be to curb the role of the APMC mandis. All the agricultural marketing till now is a state subject and is governed by APMC, that's the Agricultural Produce Market Committee. However, there would be a cap on the mandi tax at 1% for food grains, 2% for fruits and vegetables, and the commission agent at 2% again. So that was this. The next is some of the state projects that we talked about. So first is Samrak Gram Unnay Yojana in Assam, that is mobilizing the village life, implementing the saturation model which would cover the revenue villages through focused intervention and provide market linkages. The Good Samaritan policy in Delhi to help people in the road accidents in emergency, and they would be given a monetary incentive of rupees 2000 and an appreciation certificate. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Rasoi Yojana in MP government. This was to provide subsidized meals to the poor at a rate of rupees 5. The first state to launch this was Tamil Nadu in the name of Amma Canteens, and then it was followed by Rajasthan and finally Madhya Pradesh. The next is Tirtha Darshan scheme launched by Haryana government to provide senior citizens Tirtha Darshan or the pilgrimage tour at a discount rate or at government expense. So 100% cost would be beared for the BPL family. For the non-BPL family, 70% of the cost would be beared by the government. The selection would be done by a lottery system. 400 destinations have been covered, and maximum number of pilgrims that would be allowed would be 250 per year. The next is Arogya Raksha scheme launched by Andhra Pradesh government. It provides medical treatment to people above poverty line at rupees 1200 premium per year. So that has been the premium decided by the government, and this would cover 1044 diseases and ailments under various heads. The next one is Bet Dwarka Darshan Circuit in Gujarat, launched by Gujarat government. It is a part of the Hriday scheme, that is the Heritage City Development and Augmentation Yojana. In Gujarat, 6 kilometer route would be defined. This would start from the Dwarkadish Haveli and Hanuman Dandi. Hanuman Dandi is one of the only temples to have housing for Hanuman and his son Marakwaj, both of these in Dwarka. And this would also cover two water bodies, the Shankudar Lake and the Ranchhod Talao. Similar to these, there have been 12 other heritage sites that have been identified under the Hriday Yojana. These are Ajmer, Amravati, Amritsar and so on. So you can have the list at exam days and you can refer those. So with this we cover the expected questions for the government policies and programs, the major initiatives done by the government. In the next class we will be talking about expected questions on economics and banking. Stay tuned. For any doubts or questions you can definitely leave those as comment. Have a good day ahead.